And there they go.
Welcome back to RacingNews.com. I'm Magic, and this is Dr. Miranda here to preview the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley Stakes Saturday at Keeneland. And Dr. Miranda, who better to have on than someone who was just at Keeneland last weekend taking in the festivities. How was it there?
It was so packed. I brought my 3-month-old daughter there, so we had a stroller, and people were so drunk that they just kept running into the stroller. So I got so mad that I finally just sat on a bench in the paddock, and we just watched the horses go by and let Kurt go run off and do his bet. So we just hung out. But it was a great time. It was just so packed. So I think this weekend it'll be a lot better to be out there than it was last weekend.
Well, and then it was apparently very freezing and cold on Saturday. You were there Sunday. But, hey, it's heating up at the Keeneland meet because week 2, we have the Jenny Wiley Stakes. Take us through the field. Let us know who you like here.
So we're going to start off with the number 1, Scarabea, with Jack Sisterson and Julian Leperoux. This girl was running on turf last year with not much luck in the maiden special weight. She finally broke her maiden on her 8th try, but that was on dirt, where she really seemed to like that surface better. They then put her in 2 G3s on the turf, where she did okay, got her best buyer speed figures of her career, but that was at 1.5 miles. And her previous tries at shorter distances weren't very good. So jumping to this G1 against some of the best turf mares right now is just not going to go in her favor, in my opinion. The number 2 is Wallyak, who was racing in Europe up until last fall. She won a couple graded stakes in Great Britain before coming to the United States. And one of her performances that I want to talk about, she finished behind Saffron Beach, who most recently ran in the Dubai against some of the top males in the entire world and got 4th place. Well, in her debut in America, it wasn't the greatest. She finished 4th place in a G1 at Woodbine. But something good that came out of those races is that the 2 that finished ahead of her came back and won. So she's been off since October, but she's had some layoffs in her past where she came back and won. Another thing to note is that some of her top performances came at 1 mile. So I think she's going to like the shortened distance a little bit. The number 3 is Shantasara, who is the first of the Chad Brown duo. This girl has been 3 for 4 under Brown and has won her last 3 with Flavian Prat aboard. She has won on both firm turf and yielding turf. So I just don't think the surface is going to be a big deal for her. It has been raining a lot in Kentucky recently. Now, everyone's going to talk about the quote that Chad Brown said. It was that it's reasonable to map out an eclipse sort of season for her. Now, Chad doesn't talk up a lot of his horses, so she's obviously been training amazingly. She has a win at Keeneland, which is something only her and another horse in this field can say. This race has a lot of speed, and I think it may turn into a speed duel, and then she would be able to come up and pick up the pieces. The number 4 is the second of the Brown duo. That's Regal Glory. This horse has a very different running style than her stablemate, though. She has a lot of speed, and I have a feeling she's going to be using that speed in this race, especially to press to her outside with Lady Spitespear. 2 of her last 4 races, she got over 100 buyer. She has the class to be in this race. She's been in numerous graded stakes since 2018. She most recently won the Filly Mare Turf at Pegasus, where she didn't start off well at all, but it didn't matter in the end. She's very consistent. She's very versatile, showing that she can win on or off the pace. So depending how she gets out of the gate, I think is going to determine her running style. Now, the number 5 is Navratilova, who has also a win at this course at Keeneland. She won a G3 where she went gate to wire at 25-1. She took some time off. She then got 3rd in the Honey Fox. She has the early speed, but the problem is that Regal Glory and Lady Spitespear are just a bit quicker if they decide to do a speed duel. I think that she is very talented, but I think that she's just in a little bit over her head with this field. The number 6 is Lady Spitespear, who picks up Sayas in this race. She has the most speed in this field, but she's going to be accompanied by Regal Glory. She's been at Tampa this winter where she finished 2nd and 4th, both behind the same horse, Bleecker Street, who's also trained by Chad Brown. So the problem I have with that is if she couldn't handle that horse, how is she going to handle his 2 best horses? One upside, though, that I want to say is that she has been racing consistently recently and is probably in her best form, where a lot of these horses are coming off a long layoff. So with everything I just said, I think this is going to come down to pace, and that's how it's going to pan out. I think that Shantasara is probably the best horse, but you just never know with these layoffs. I also think that is going to be a lot closer of a race than a lot of people think. Everyone's saying use the brown horses and move on, but if anybody knows me, I'm not going to go for a 6-5 horse coming off a layoff. So I'm actually going to go with the number 2 Waliak. I think that this horse has a lot of upside. And when these European horses come over to America, I always cross off their first race because it is so different than the turf at Europe. So since she has that one race under her belt, I think that she can stay mid-pack, let Lady Spicebeer and Regal Glory fight it out on the front end and come up a finish ahead of Shantasara. I think that Shantasara is going to be very close, but I think that with the distance being a little bit shorter is going to suit the number 2 a little bit better. So I'm going to play a long shot exacta as well. I'm going to take out the 2 brown horses with you guys. So I'm just trying to win some money here. So we're going to go with a 2-5-6 box, exacta box, hoping to come home, hoping that Lady Spicebeer uses her speed and Waliak can come up and close.
You got me speechless here. You're going against not 1 but 2 Chad Browns in the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley Stakes. And listen, if it connects, like you said, you're going to make more than a little bit of money. You're going to make a lot of money. Just 6 horses, a great race to just watch the stars go out. Head over to racenews.com. We've got you covered with free picks for every race, every track across the country. Go to youtube.com/racingdudes where we have full coverage of the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks coverages. Hit like if you like the video, subscribe if you like it. Tell us below in the comments who you think is winning the Jenny Wiley. We'll see you at the track.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels. Never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,